Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Level Up with Debbie Neal. As always, I am so grateful that you're here. So today's episode, I feel like I always say this, today's episode is going to stretch us. Every episode, my intention is to stretch you, grow us, and build something like really eternal in us. You know, I didn't get this piece of it when I started as an entrepreneur. I honestly didn't connect my faith and my business. And once I merged the two of them and realized that every single thing in my life is because of God and it's all connected, my life has really, really changed. Okay. So today's episode is all about the testing of your faith, build your perseverance. And so here's the thing. Every single one of us, including myself, we love the mountaintops, right? The highs. We love the wins. We love the promotion. We love the growth. We love the accolades. We love the seasons when everything flows. The goals are being crushed. Momentum is electric. It's like on fire. It's like a ball rolling that you can't even catch up with. And favor feels like it's actually falling from the sky. But you know where the strength is built? It's built in the valleys. It's built in the trials. It's in the testing of our faith. And let me tell you something, it's actually coming directly from my heart. There's a purpose in our pain. There's not only a purpose, but there's power in it. So if you're in a season right now of stretching, of uncertainty, or opposition, you're exactly where you are supposed to be. Once we know that, and embrace that, we build the ability to lean into that. We don't avoid it, right? It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm in a season of all of this, so I'm just going to pull back and wait. No. It's leaning in, and that's how we level up. So let's talk about happiness versus joy, because they are two different things. And a lot of people are chasing happiness. Like maybe they're chasing it with, I don't know, success, or you're chasing it with a significant other. You're chasing it with how you look and feel about yourself. But here's the thing. Happiness is based on what's happening. Like I'm happy when I go out to eat. I'm happy when I do a really good recording. I'm happy when I'm on a vacation. It's conditional. It's about everything's going your way. Today was great. The situation was great. You're up. But if you base it just on that, like when you're not up, you're down. And your happiness then will fluctuate with your bank account, right? It fluctuates with your relationships. It fluctuates with your recognition. But joy is different. Joy is an actual state of mind. It's rooted in something so much deeper than what's happening. It's actually like, it's the fruit of the spirit. It's knowing who you are. It's knowing whose you are and where you are going, regardless of what is happening. And here is the actual, I don't know if it's the hard truth, the beautiful truth. Trials don't steal your joy. They refine your joy. When you're walking through fire and you're still able to praise Jesus, still showing up, still believing, that's joy. That's maturity. That's leadership. And I can tell you this very vulnerably. In my early years as an entrepreneur, not only did I not fully understand that, I didn't do that. I honestly believed that success was linear. If I worked hard, good things would come to me. But when life didn't go that as I expected, when people quit, when momentum stalled, when self-doubt crept in, I had to make the decision. Was I only joyful when I was winning, or could I be joyful just because I was called for something greater? I have a bigger mission in this life. And I was brought to my knees a few times And I was so young in my leadership that I didn't realize that I was being tested. My first thought was like, this is all happening to me. This is not fair. It's happening to stop me. But the goal is to feel joy regardless of what is going on around you. Is your faith and vision that powerful? Because joy is a choice, it's a mindset, it's a great weapon, a really powerful weapon. The devil can't get to you when you are filled with joy. And when you learn to carry it in the fire, you become unshakable. So when we talk about the refining process, let's talk about faith, because faith is not built in the comfortable. Faith is built when you're stretched, when you're tested, when your plans fall apart, and you are forced to trust the one who holds the plan. Do you guys know it literally took me, I don't even know what age I was, maybe a year ago, I got to be honest, to actually lay quite a bit at God's feet. Now, it doesn't mean I would like release pressure from my life or release moving forward, but there was some things I was trying to, I don't know if manipulate was the right word, trying to figure out and what was the best for me. What was that? It was like, I finally said, like, what's your will? What's your will in this situation? I need you. And so the Bible says the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And that's not like just a little cute verse. It's a blueprint for your growth. Like that's where so many people in life want to level up. They want to grow their business. They want to grow their life. They want to grow their abundance, but they're not really here for the obstacles. They're not really here for the tests. They don't really want to be refined. They just want everything to fall in their lap. They want everybody to say yes. They want everybody to go to the top. And when it doesn't, it's like, oh, I'm not going to do this. Okay. God allows the heat to rise in our lives. And so why does he allow this? Because I heard this example in church this past Sunday. And I always heard that diamonds, a diamond comes from heat pressure, but I never heard the example of gold. And so when you refine gold, it has to be liquefied. It's heated until everything that doesn't belong in the gold is raised to the surface. And so when you're leveling up in your life and business, what are some of those things when we talk about we're like being refined like gold is? So fear can rise to the top during this refining period. Doubt, insecurity, imposter syndrome, pride, the stuff that doesn't leave you on its own. It comes out in the fire. And God, because he is the most faithful refiner, he's skimming that all off the top. And here's the thing. God is not in the rush with your character. He is going to slow cook your character. He's building patience, endurance, depth, wisdom, not just results. When God prepares you for leadership, he's not just building your brand, he's building your backbone. That is required to level up. This is when most people pull away. They look around and they start to tell themselves, this isn't for me. Let me get a job. I'm not supposed to feel stressed. I want to do something that I could just turn off when I turn off the clock. Friends, growth doesn't live in those scenarios. That's where survival starts to grow. You always have a choice. Are you here to survive or are you here to thrive? You don't get patience by reading about it. You get it when you've waited for a promise that hasn't come yet and you're still choosing faith. You're still building. You're still creating activity. You still hold on to your vision and purpose. You don't grow unshakable faith by quitting scripture. You grow it by walking through the seasons that test you to the very core, and you're still standing firm. Success without refinement is really dangerous. Nothing comes that easy. Nothing comes that quickly. Friends, we're living in an instant gratification world. A decision to start a business doesn't give you success and abundance. Building your faith in the process is what builds your success and your abundance. Average avoid the fire. That's why God doesn't let you skip the process. And if you're in it, that means he's doing something beautiful in you. So like feel the heat and allow yourself to be refined. So trials in entrepreneurship and leadership. And I want to like really kind of bring this into a leadership perspective. You want to be a leader. Maybe you want to launch something new. Maybe you're building a team or a business or a movement, and then suddenly life hits. Resistance comes, doors close. In some cases, people walk away. And it feels like you're walking uphill, like you're literally like treading water, running or jogging in quicksand in the dark and alone. And you know what? Welcome to the refining fire of entrepreneurship. That's why you hear that expression all the time. If you want to live a life that 99% of the people don't, you need to be willing to do what 1% of the people won't do, or something like that, right? If you want a life that is 1%, you have to do what 99% of people won't do. Okay. So I want to give you some real examples of trials that we walk through in business, right? Maybe you launch with excitement. You have vision burning in your chest, and your friends and family, crickets. Or maybe you're doing something new, you're scared, but faithful. And the first few months, no traction, no clients, no income. You finally build momentum, and someone you trusted walks away. They take people with them, and it crushes your spirit. Or maybe you're showing up every day, speaking life, leading with excellence, but the results just don't match your effort yet. See, here's the thing. These are trials, and they all require faith. Not just the kind of faith that says, I believe, but the kind of faith that says, even if I don't see fruit right now, I'll stay planted. I'll stay obedient. I'll stay faithful. You know how every home has that spot that you like think about throughout the day? That place that allows you to finally exhale. And for me, it's like cuddling up on my couch with a really good book. And Cozy Earth just sent me their dreamy bubble cuddle blanket. And I have to tell you, friends, it's literally next level. When life is stressful or you're burnt out, what's the one place in your home that you think to retreat to? So the bubble cuddle throw blanket is the absolute best. It's big, it's cozy, it's classy, it's beautiful. Honestly, it's perfection. They even have a 100-night sleep trial. Try them out. If you don't love them, return them hassle-free, but trust me, you will not want to. If you want the best sheets, blankets, towels, and more, head to cozyearth.com and use my code Debbie in all caps for 40% off. And make sure you let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here, because your couch and bed should be more than a place to relax and sleep. It should be your happiest place. Cozy Earth makes that possible. When we were young, we used to dream of being anything: an astronaut, the president, a prince, princess. But as you get older, your dreams change, focusing less on running the world and more on how you can take your skills and ideas and turn them into something real. Instead of dreaming of going to space or owning a castle, maybe you start dreaming of owning your own business. You'll need a website, a payment plan, a logo, and a way to advertise to new customers. It can all be overwhelming and confusing, but thankfully, that is where today's sponsor, Shopify, comes in. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. What if people haven't heard about my brand? Shopify helps you find your customers with easy to run email and social media campaigns. And what if I get stuck? Shopify's always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer service. Turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and get selling today at shopify.com/level up. Go to shopify.com/level up. shopify.com/level up. Here's what I want you to remember. When you avoid the pain, you avoid your purpose. You don't know your purpose till you come out on the other side of pain. When you quit in the trial, you never get to see what was being built in you. It's pretty powerful, right? You don't just lead others through the good times, you lead others through the fire. That's what leadership is. That's what makes people trust you. That's what qualifies you to speak with authority. That's what makes you an example worth following. That's what influence is. You want people to follow you or join you. You need to realize what really, it's not like I will ask and I will receive. There's so much that goes into the process of leadership. So if you're facing resistance, if you feel stretched, it's not because you're failing, it's because you're being forged. So what I want to talk about now is how to walk through trials and come out stronger, right? So one, let's reprogram or reframe the trial. And this one changes everything. So instead of you saying, why me, God, which I've said several times, why are you doing this to me? I want you to start asking, what are you trying to teach me? Because we know this. And if you don't know it, you need to know this. God never wastes pain, but sometimes we do. We waste it by resisting it instead of learning from it. This mindset has changed my business and my life. When things don't go according to plan, I start asking, like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't my plan. Maybe this wasn't my vision. But what if this is part of the plan? What if this is his plan? What if this is preparation, not punishment? As entrepreneurs, every hard moment has the potential to break us or build us. And reframing gives us perspective. It allows us to find purpose in what feels like chaos. So I'm calling you to lean in to God's presence. When we feel overwhelmed or we feel stressed or defeated, it's not a sign that we're weak. It's actually a sign, this is what I feel like, it's like, come closer to me. It's a sign that Jesus is saying, you cannot do this on your own. Come closer to me, invite me in. Part of my morning routine is quiet time with Jesus. What used to be prayers, like, praying, I pray for my family, I pray for my health, I pray for my business, is now conversation. And there's quite a bit that I lay at his feet. And in the moments that I have felt the heaviest in leadership, it wasn't another strategy that I needed because most of us know what we need to do. It wasn't another training call, not that we don't want to plug into all of them, but it was his presence. And I've reached out to God. I could think of being in a hotel room before speaking. Like I brought him my insecurities. I brought him my doubts. And I've said, what I've got something prepared, but if you've got something better, I want you all over this, right? All glory is to you. How can I serve that room? How can I do what you've called me to do? And you know what I found? That he always shows up. He doesn't promise easy, but he does promise nearness. You don't have to have it all together. Just bring him your real honest truth, and he'll meet you with grace. And you want to ask God for wisdom, right? So if you look at James 5, it says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God. As I go through the Bible, and, I've heard this, like the Bible is actually the best personal growth book ever. Like I underline things. I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are the things we talk about today in leadership. This is where it all originated. And let me tell you, there's no leadership like spirit-led leadership. When you don't know what to do, ask. When you feel unsure, ask. When you're hurt or disappointed or unclear, ask. But don't just ask. You need to believe that he will answer. Maybe it's not right away. Maybe it's not how you expect, but he will reveal it in time. And so the key is to be present and listen. And so I've asked God for wisdom in business decisions, team decisions, seasons of silence, in my relationships, with my family. And sometimes the answer is to act, and sometimes it's to wait. But wisdom always leads to peace, and peace is proof of his presence. And then there's so many benefits on the other side of the trial. Like when we're in the trial, we've heard, right? Change is like messy at the beginning, stressful at the beginning, really chaotic in the middle, and like beautiful on the other side. Okay. But let's talk about the other side and the benefits of enduring the trial, because we could agree the fire can get very, very hot and the process is uncomfortable. But what's on the other side? Breakthrough, wisdom, authority, peace, favor, strength, but most of all, clarity about who you are and who's building you. When you endure, here's what you gain, because there's so many gains: depth of character. You don't just talk strength, but now you start to embody strength. Spiritual confidence. You know God brought you through, so your faith isn't just a theory, it's proven. Unshakable belief. You've been through storms, so you're not rattled when others panic. You become that safe place when other people are in a storm. Greater impact. People trust leaders who have suffered and overcome. Your story becomes somebody else's survival guide. You're giving people hope and a clearer vision, which you guys know is always my favorite. After the refining comes the revelation. You start to see what really matters and why you were called in the first place. So let me ask this, right, really like to you right now. The trial is not the end. It's the beginning of your next level. In fact, the presence of a trial often means one thing: that you are ready to level up. God is stretching you because he's preparing you for more, not just more success, more responsibility, more leadership, more capacity, more purpose. So instead of resisting it, why don't we start thanking God for it? Feel the gratitude for the trial, because it seems that you're not staying the same. It means God sees more in you than you see in yourself. The fire is not the punishment. The fire is the promotion. That's a mindset that most people will never adopt. And when it gets hard, keep your head high, lift your eyes, lean in. Your current circumstances don't define you. Your vision defines you. So keep it crystal clear. Keep it rooted in truth. Keep it burning, because on the other side of the process, you're stronger, you're wiser, and you are ready. And your trial is a testimony. And you know what is so powerful? When someone sees you walk through a storm and still stand tall, when you don't hide your pain, but share your growth. And I'm not talking about like your pain when you're in it, like, oh my gosh, my whole team quit. Oh my gosh, I had 17 cancellations. Like, you don't talk to your team about that stuff. No, it's not leadership. It's actually it's just selfish. Okay. But I'm talking about when you're on the other side. That's the difference between lessons and being a distraction for others. When others say, gosh, if she could do it, if he can grow through to the other side with faith, then so can I. And you know what that is? It's leadership. That's influence. That's your testimony. So don't avoid your trials. Lead with them. Your authority becomes somebody else's anchor. So this is what I really want you to hold in your heart today. Joy is deeper than happiness. Joy is your foundation. We want to be building that every day. Trials don't break you. They refine you. The testing of your faith builds perseverance. And when things get hard, ask God, what are you teaching me? What are you refining in me? Don't run from the heat. We're not going to run from it. Even though it's August, we're not going to run from the heat. We're going to lean into it. Allow that heat to shape you. And remember, avoiding pain means avoiding purpose. God is preparing you for more. You were made for more, not just to succeed, but to sustain success, to lead with humility, to be the kind of leader that lasts, that for generations and builds a legacy. Your trial is part of your testimony, and your perseverance, it's building something really special and really eternal. And so this is what I want to say. Like, if I kind of bring this up like every now and then, but I want actually like to really be spreading this. And sometimes I don't say, oh, if you love it, share it. Cause I'm thinking, oh, I'm making that about me. No, like our goal together is like to help so many people level up and to build it through their faith, through their leadership. So if this episode really did something for you, I would love for you to share it. And I would love for you to rate it on Apple. And I would love for you to leave a review, because that really means the world to me. And plus, every single time you leave a review and subscribe, this podcast is touching more people, is touching more hearts. And we could just be conquering the millions with positivity. And so I'm so grateful that we're growing together, not only in leadership, but I feel so grateful that there's so many faith-driven leaders that are now listening to this podcast, and we're growing in purpose. So have the most amazing week, my friends. I love you. I believe in you. Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, you are being refined for a reason. So I love you all.